Time to have a look at things happening, I guess, in the world of exercise, and a lot of it happening at the moment too, with our exercise physiologist, Mark Goswell. And Mark, I guess if you're watching TV at the moment, you're probably seeing a lot of sport. Of course, Ash Barty's kicking it in the tennis, so the tennis is in everyone's mind.
Everyone's looking at that.
Maybe a bit of cricket overseas, a test match wrapping up overnight. Yep. Footy started. I guess this sometimes means that a lot of us translate that from being the lounge room norms to becoming the backyard legends. And is there potential, if you haven't played a game of sport for a long while, all of a sudden you want to become the backyard hero? That can lead to disaster.
It can lead to terrible disaster because we get into our 40s and we've got our kids, usually in their early teens, and we think we're superstars, and we go, I've put on a little bit of extra weight. Maybe I get back into tennis. Maybe I take up cricket. I'm going to play touch football or resurrect my rugby league career.
And of course, it all goes downhill, and neighbourhood shame happens.
It all goes rapidly downhill, and my work gets a lot busier.
Now, beyond the shame of it, and knowing that the kids that are probably 12 or 14 that are running around like everything, they can beat you now. Yeah. If you've got a lot of unworked areas of the bod, I mean, sometimes are there some areas that are more prone to injury from just jumping back into it?
Yeah, look, the majority of injuries that people will experience will be like hamstrings, knees, Achilles, and also in the upper body like a rotator cuff. And the problem is we think about what we used to do in our early teens and 20s and go, oh yeah, that wasn't that hard. We were superstars. You get a little bit older and you want to reclaim that fame, or show your kids that you're not as useless as they think they might. They believe that you are. So, you go and get back into these sporting environments, and without that pre-training and without building your tolerance levels up to when we were younger, one of the things is when we're younger is that we're always active and we're always participating in sport, or we're always running around. We get to our age and where things start to slow down a little bit. And so when you're going out and getting
I want to say speak for yourself, but I've got nothing.
No, we're the same age and you got the same sort of problems. And, it's one of those things where you've got to basically make sure that you're prepping yourself for that task.
So how do we do that? Because we've watched the tennis last night, and the kids all of a sudden want us to take us down to the tennis court or the footy field, whatever it is, tomorrow.
Yeah.
What should we be doing to make sure that we are, offering the protection to those bits?
Yeah, look, one of the things, if you haven't done anything before, like a genuine warm-up is a great idea. So making sure that you're stretching prior to the activity, a light workout, a light warm-up, so that you're actually working at about 50% of what you normally would be with that actual task. I mean, obviously the key factor would be to come and see an exercise physiologist if you haven't done anything for sort of 5 to 10 years, and just get that functional assessment. So if you get that assessment, we can identify, where your weaknesses are, where your ailments are, and go, there's a high likelihood that you could potentially do a hip or a knee or a back if you go and try and serve it at 220 k's an hour.
Weaknesses, I'll make it easy for you, from the chin to the floor.
Some have a little bit more weaknesses than others. But funnily enough, it's not that overall weakness, it's the imbalances. So if you've got someone who's got significantly tight hamstrings on one side comparative to the other, then you're at a higher risk of injuring yourself. If you've got genuinely tight hamstrings but both sides, then you're less likely to injure yourself. But I suppose that's part of the assessment and part of that notion of forget what you used to be like. We've got this motto at work where it's just like, leave your ego at the front door. Anyone who brings their egos into situations tend to
We're not going to be open to being told what you need to hear, I guess.
No, not only that. I mean, you always think you're better than what you are as well, and and you certainly get you get brought back to reality when you go, oh, I'm going to go and run 5Ks because I want to get fit. It's like, no, you're not, mate. It's
funny. The whole time we're having this conversation, I'm harking back to a game of cricket that we had when I was in year 6 of primary school. I still remember where I was on the field. I still remember it being well over 40 degrees.
Yeah.
And I just kicked it on that day. I was fantastic. And now it's about, 24, 25. I'm inwardly, I'm complaining about the humidity. I need to have a Bex and a good lie down. So
That's
you're
the
right.
No, and I feel you. Like, we go out the backyard and play cricket with the kids, and I go back to
That's a mistake.
Go back to
It's
the
a
old
mistake.
halcyon days of how I used to open the bowling and open the batting, and I actually had some talent. And now I bowl 3 overs out the backyard, and I'm looking for a rest. The arm's about to fall out of its socket.
3 overs, he's about 2.5 in front of me. So great advice. If you've been watching the sport on the TV last night, take it easy as you get back in, because you don't want to end up having to be the real embarrassment of home. Oh, look, there's poor old dad. He tried to have a go and he's rolled the shoulder or whatever.
Well, you don't want to be coming to see me. Like, people that come to see me is because something's broken. So it's like, take your time, take the advice, do a couple of stretches. It'll encourage the kids to stretch as well.
So build those great habits early.
Exactly.
Always a great yarn with our exercise physiologist, Mark Goswell. Stay safe and keep those cricket memories alive, eh?
Always a pleasure, mate.
2NURFM, a broadcast service of the University of Newcastle.